Hi, everybody. Welcome today. We are excited. It is the middle of March. And so I feel like everyone, starts talking about St. Patrick's Day and luck and getting lucky. And so we wanted to talk about basically tips on how to create your own luck. I feel like it's funny. People say luck is just, oh, you are either lucky or you're not. And I actually don't think that's true. I think you can actually create your own
Yeah.
and do things to be more lucky and be more successful.
Oh, Mary Kay, let me ask you, do you think you're someone who is lucky? Like if someone asked you that question.
Um, so it's interesting. I think I actually wouldn't use the word lucky, but I do think everything that we're going to say, yeah, actually, that's a lie. I 100% think I'm lucky. Well, I feel like I'm super grateful for everything that I have. So,
Right.
yes, I feel like I have a lot. That's amazing. And actually, as we go through these tips, but I do think the fact that, I do like put myself out there and I do take risks. I feel like I take calculated risks. But I do like take the chance, and I feel like you got to take the chance to get the opportunity to get the walk. Like if you don't do anything, then you're not going to get anything. So yeah, I would definitely call myself lucky.
There you go. Well, that ties in with tips. So we have 5 tips. Tip number 1 is mix it up. I feel like that's always our tip. But
Yeah.
it's our tip because it makes sense for so many things. And like just like you said, if you're not putting yourself out there, if you're not trying different things, if you're not doing different things, then you're not going to get those opportunities to be lucky. You know what I mean? I feel like, interesting enough, I stepped out of my comfort zone. I tried something new when I applied to be a bar instructor. And I'm sure you did as well. And if we didn't do that, then I wouldn't have met you and we wouldn't be where we are today. So it's just little things like that where when you think about it, you're like, oh, wow, yeah, I am
That's a
lucky.
big deal. Yeah, like I took this chance
Yeah.
and look at where it took me. And actually to piggyback off of that and just like, I feel like people often say, oh, I have these goals, like I want to get in shape or I want to feel better. If, you know, saying is one thing, doing is the other. And you got to put in the effort, but if you do reap the benefits. Like something that I find to be interesting, but people will see like, say to me like, oh, it's probably easy for you. Like you like to work out and you're in shape. I'm like, this is something that I've had to figure out and I've had to put myself out there and I've had to try things. And what I found is mixing it up really does work because it's constantly new and it keeps it exciting and also keeps my body, like it's always changing. So, it's not necessarily, it's funny. I think I've gotten lucky because I've tried the things and figured it out, but it doesn't just like happen to me. I don't just like, it is what it is. And I think that's interesting. It's like, you gotta try, you gotta give yourself the chance to then reap all the benefits.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and I'm not a gambler. I don't like gambling, but I do like you're not going to win the money unless you take a chance. All right. So and there's you can gamble and not you can gamble in different ways in life.
Well, but that's what I said, like a calculated risk.
Yes.
I feel like, yeah, like Trish and I both hate gambling because I just think like that's my money that I just made. Why am I putting it like at risk? But I think if there's, for instance, if I'm going to pay for something because and then I know, okay, someone's going to show me exactly what to do so that I can take care of myself or so that I can work on my strength or so I can work on, I could build my endurance or so I could, get more toned, like I'm willing to take that risk because I'm like, okay, I'm getting something back. I know what I'm getting back
Right.
versus putting the money on the blackjack table and hoping black. It's not my thing.
All right. Well, tip number 2 is meet more people and connect with old friends. And I feel like this ties into Remix very much so because we are all about the connection and the community. And it kind of ties back to the story of me meeting you. Like I think the more people you meet and the more relationships you have, again, the more opportunities you have for things. Like I always feel like it's always so good to know as many people as you can, because everyone is so smart in their own ways and brings their own positives and what's the word I'm looking for?
Like strengths.
Yes,
They
yes,
bring a certain like characteristics that you may not have, and like you can learn from or appreciate.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
nice
mean,
to be around it's nice to be around different people. It's nice to be around, like, I feel like, actually I was talking to one of our members today, and she was talking about how amazing our community is, and just that it's interesting. Everyone's so different, but also you're with like-minded people. Like, we obviously, we want to take care of ourselves. We know we need to make our health a priority. We're busy, we have a lot going on, but we still like get to all see each other. It's sort of like we're in it together.
right.
And it's true. And I think the more people that you interact with, that you get to know, there's just so many more things that come from it. And I think, going back to exactly what you said, so if I didn't take this bar certification, Tricia didn't take the bar certification, we wouldn't have known each other. And it's so interesting how, after we even met each other, we knew there were other connections that we had. Like, I knew your aunt, and I knew your mother-in-law from, and it's like interesting how, like, but that none of that could have transpired if we didn't do that. So I think it's always good to, meet new people, get to know them, and also like embrace what they bring to the table too. Because again, I feel like we're going back to like you know, us, but it is interesting. I feel like Trish and I, we're similar in a lot of ways, and like, but also have so many different strengths and weaknesses. What I am horrendous at, thank the Lord, she is good at, and there's so many of them. The list is so long. But embracing that, because like we all have like amazing strengths, but there are things that you're not going to be great at everything, and that's okay. But surrounding yourself with people that like you can learn from, and you can maybe get better at something because they've taught you or showed you. So I just think it brings so much more opportunity, relationships, and just like a good thing. Like, I feel like, as you interact with more people, it's a feel good thing. We all need that sense of community. So I think it's really important.
It's true. And honestly, if you're someone, I know some people are thinking, I'm not really a people person, I'm more of an introvert. And like Remix is a great way to sort of branch out, because you don't have to meet a billion people. But you come in, you take your 45-minute class, you can talk and chat for a little bit after or before class. And that's a great way to meet people. You don't need to be out there shaking hands and kissing babies and all the things if that's not you. Like, there are ways to do it where it's not like, hey, everyone's different. So I think there's
Yes.
other ways. All right, tip number 3, don't be
Mhm.
afraid to fail. I like this one because I feel like, and I think sometimes I need to do that too. Like, what do they say in marketing? You're supposed to be told no a bunch of times, right? Isn't that something?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think there's a lot of advice, like, you learn from your failures.
Yeah.
So, but I think we have this fear of, I can't mess up, I can't do things wrong. And I would agree. I love that you said, like, I probably should like listen to this a little bit. Same, it's interesting. I feel like I'm willing to take calculated risks, but I don't want to fail. But I also think that there are so many things that happen that like you learn from, and then it helps you later on. And it's interesting. I feel like the word fail is, you know, because I feel like people have such a perception, like that means like I lost I
You don't
lost
want to
everything.
fail.
Yeah, you don't, right. But I also think, there like things, a fail could be like it didn't work out the way that you had anticipated, or that you didn't want. I mean, take Remix as an example. Like, Trisha and I, started out, with this idea that then, has continued to develop. Like, we never in our wildest dreams could have predicted that a year and a half in, a pandemic would have happened. And I wouldn't consider that a fail, but that's a huge obstacle that you're like, what do you do with this?
Right.
And again, I think we were like, we'll just figure it out. And literally, like, us going virtual could have been a complete flop. It could have been a complete fail. But if we didn't, take the risk, then we wouldn't have what we have now, which is, we're streaming almost all of our classes and clients like all over the US and internationally as well. Like that would never have happened. And if we didn't, try outside in the freezing and the cold or in the extreme heat, like all of those things, I think we took those chances and I would say it worked out, but we also like, it's okay if it didn't, like I think it's okay because we would have learned to do something else. And I feel like every day you and I both would say this, that like there are so many things that we do that we're like, oh, we could do this better, or like this didn't quite go as planned, but let's try this. And you can consider those fails. I think it's like a learning experience. And that's life, like stuff is not going to work out as planned exactly how you want, but don't go into it thinking, like I can't fail, because it will hold you back, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's all about perception, right?
Yeah.
I think something that I always try to tell myself is, what's the worst that can happen? You could say like, and it's usually not so bad. Like I think sometimes we make it out to be bigger than it can be. And I think that actually goes right into the next tip, which is to remember to celebrate all the wins, even the small wins. Because sometimes we look and we're looking at our life and our day and we're thinking, oh, like all these bad things, are happening, or I failed, or this happened, or that happened. And it's so often we forget to stop and acknowledge the little things that we have done right and well, and celebrate them, acknowledge them. Even, I mean, the fact that we all woke up after losing an hour and
Mhm.
like woke up and went on with our day, I think is a win. And I think we should all celebrate it.
I love that, because I actually say that in class a lot. Like it's what I talk about, because it's true. I feel like sometimes we're just, going through the motions and we're like, okay, crossing things off the list, and it's just like done, done, done. And taking a step back and being like, even just looking at your list and being like, wow, I did all that. Or I made it to class. I pressed play. I feel like I'm glad that we're recording this after my conversation with one of our members, because she said she's not great at acknowledging things. And I think this is such a perfect example of like how you can create your own luck. So she said that she was driving by, and she's been a member for now like almost 3 years,
Yeah.
but she was driving by and she said, she was like, I probably should try. I should do something. Like like she really wasn't a big worker outer. And she finally like took the first step, and she's like, okay, I did it. And then she like started trying more, and she's like, and then it became part of my routine. And then I got to like know some people, and it became like what I did. And now, and she's like, fast forward. So I thought this was really interesting. She's like, fast forward, it's now, 2.5, 3 years. Like remix is a part of my life. Exercise and taking care of myself is a part of my life. Even when I fall off, I'm not like, that put me completely behind and I'm so behind the game. She's like, I know just to jump back on, like to just get back in. And she's like, that doesn't mean like I lost everything. And she even gave examples, but she said like there were parts in the pandemic that really like she like was like they're at home, they're like eating and drinking more and stuff like that. And she kind of felt, and she's like, then I got back into it. And she said this new year, she was like, now things are opening again. I'm back. And she's lost 15 pounds since the beginning of the year. She feels amazing. She's like, I can do full push-ups, which I haven't been. She's like, I've never been able to do that. And she's like, I feel better. Like, I feel like I can handle, like, I'm going into my busy season. I don't feel like normally I'd be going to my busy season being like dreading it. She's like, yeah, I'm excited. Am I excited? No, but I'm like, no, but I have these other things in place that are like going to make me feel better so I can handle this more. It was just like such a good, I'm like, that's exactly what we want for everyone. But she said, if I didn't like pull into your parking lot and try, like, what would have happened? Like, and it was just, so it's a perfect like way to say, one, give yourself a shot, but two, then acknowledge it. Because then I said to her, it was funny because now she's lost 15 pounds. Like she's feeling amazing. She's been exercising consistently. She's been eating well. And she's like, and I'm not like depriving myself. And I said, but the way she said it, because she's a lawyer and very like, I said, Meg, now there's a bunch of them, but I said, are you actually acknowledging all that you've accomplished? And she's like, I need to do that more. And I said, yeah, this is a huge deal. You know, like all of these little aspects are a huge deal. And so that's actually her goal for this month, is to acknowledge more of her wins.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, I feel like it was a perfect like segue to this podcast, because I literally just had this conversation with her.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. Actually, it goes right into the last tip, which is because I feel like she definitely did this, work for it. That's the last tip.
Yes.
Create a plan, stay consistent, and you'll get wherever you want to go. Keep at it. And I think it's clear, like that's a perfect example. She took the chance, she drove by, she said, I'm going to do this. And then she kept at it. She was consistent, even when obstacles were thrown in her way. She acknowledged it. Yeah, okay, this is an obstacle. I'm going to go right back into it. And the more you work at it, the luckier you're going to be.
Yeah. I completely agree with that. I think it's like, work for it, just show up, just press play, plan it just like you would all these other things. And you can create your own success. You can. And to kind of like tie it all in, this was another member, but she said, she just got her measurements done and stuff. And she's only been with us for a little while, but she's like, I've been working out. I've been like eating better. And she's like, and I can notice it like in my clothes, and I'm just like, I feel better about myself. And it was so funny. She goes, who would have known? Like exercise and eating a little bit better would make you feel. And it's funny. It's like, because we do know it, and because it's not like rocket science, but like you got to do it. But also you don't have to be all or nothing either. It's like, just take that first step, and then each step gets better and easier and becomes more routine and more of a habit. But you gotta take those steps. And the more I feel like that you plan for it, that even, luckier you are, because it becomes something that that you do no matter what, versus, like, I'm going to do it here and there. It's like, okay, now it becomes, part of my day, and I'm actually setting, a plan and a goal, and I'm going to accomplish that, because you will be more successful. You will be more lucky if you do it.
I love this so much. This is great.
I like this topic.
Yeah.
I'm into this topic.
I have to say, if anyone is feeling like I need a little extra help or a little extra push, we are here to help. We want to help you create your own luck. So I'm going to drop it into the podcast notes, but go and grab a free week, grab a free VIP call with us, get all the things. We'll guide you through, and you're going to be feeling amazing.
Yeah. Take advantage of it. Use this as an opportunity to basically create your luck, and take us up on a free week and a VIP call. Like Tricia said, we want to help you create your own luck. We want you to be successful. We want you to take care of you. That's what we're here for.
All right.
Hope
bye, everyone.
You all enjoyed this. Yes. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And if you're listening to this in the middle of the summer, happy summer or spring or fall. Bye, everybody.